tonight on CTV3 News. A prisoner is on the lam after he escapes from Orange Walk police custody. He was detained for immigration offenses but managed to abscond from police this morning. Former Minister of Lands Ugo Pad goes before the Special Select Committee once more. He is questioned about lands transactions made before the general elections. International con artist is detained by police in San Pedro. Parents of the fishing community of Copperbank are up in arms. We'll tell you why. And the students of Bishop Martin High School prepare for first Lego League challenge. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Wednesday, February 28, 2024.
The innovator in you with Dell. Cellular World is an authorized partner for Dell Technologies. Whether you're looking for equipment for personal use or to transform your business, Dell Technologies can provide you with the right equipment to suit your needs. Dell is more than just desktop computers and laptops. The full line also includes monitors, data storage solutions, keyboards, docking stations, and other accessories. This is technology that makes it possible and provides solutions for every situation. Shop for your Dell products at Cellular World, your #1 Dell authorized partner in Belize, and get all the technology you want for less. Bring your brightest ideas to life with intelligent technology. Cellular World, authorized Dell partner.
Yes, I give her 50 times ending, now me have to pay.
Where you going, bruh? The who they stress you out again, Namule?
Boy, I don't want to believe I the fool again.
Again?
But I mess up this time for real, for real. You really want to know?
Yes.
I want here.
Can't make it a big deal.
We know
Sean,
what
I know how you going now.
Oh, man.
You really want to know?
Ah, yeah?
Take my plan, and I give her. I take my plan, and put it in a name.
Wait, so tell me something. You still pay for this plan?
Oh, yeah. But hear this. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize. This plan, I can't left this plan, yeah. This plan, I can't left this plan. Postpaid plan. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize, it's unlimited data. Smart choice plan can light up your day. Postpaid with eSIM, make everything better. Just visit Smart Showrooms today. I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. Can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. Affordable for everyone. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong.
You know why? Listen, hey, for the best post and prepaid. You know that smart got you back.
My bad. Rock commercial. She could left me for another man. The truth, once I have my plan, once I have my Smart Plus plan, I no worry cause the data strong. I know when the bleed, that's all I need. And you could tell me where you are, but I know I left this plan. Smart have the best services. We post your plan have everything, so you could talk and text unlimited. Come set up your group. We got share plan 1 and 2. Up to 10 friends can connect anywhere. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong. Don't dig it down, 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 don't dig it. Smart, bringing people together.
We are now walking the streets and visiting your homes. We're glad to hear that you're happy with the development of our beautiful town. Our motto, moving forward, one town, one vision, is a pledge to continue developing and beautifying a Ridgewalk town. On March 6th, stay on track and vote Logic Shepherd for mayor and your 6 PUP councillors.
PUP!
Good evening with your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Police in Orange Walk are on the lookout for a prisoner who escaped from custody at the Orange Walk police station today. He is Jonathan Felipe Aruja Lima of Brazilian nationality and was arrested this week for immigration offenses. Lima was expected to be charged and taken to court. However, at around 6 a.m. today, he managed to abscond from custody through the fence of the station located near the rest room area. Once outside of the compound, he is suspected to have jumped the fence of a business establishment adjacent to the station. He is then believed to have run towards the river, and that is where cops lost his trace. He remains at large until news time, and police is asking the public to report any information which could lead to his detention. An international con artist who allegedly defrauded multiple luxury resorts in Belize out of more than $100,000 was arrested by San Pedro police yesterday with the assistance of the community. News spread like wildfire on social media yesterday morning with information that 39-year-old Christopher Angelo Alvarado Marchena, a Costa Rican national with multiple aliases, who was wanted in connection with a large-scale deception at the high-end Itsiana resort in Placencia. According to resort staff, he arrived on February 5th and stayed until the 13th, allegedly using 3 bogus wire transfer confirmations as proof of payment. Upon disappearing a day before checkout, he left behind outstanding bills totaling $13,525 for his 8-night stay. With the assistance of the community, Alvarado Marchena was detained yesterday at Villa Abrazos Resort in San Pedro Town. During the arrest, police discovered Marchena in possession of counterfeit $100 bills, a Costa Rican passport, and a substance suspected to be cocaine. Villa Abrazos Resort also alleges Marchena owes them a substantial amount in unpaid charges. Bernardo Cabrera Collazo, Mexican general manager of Villa Abrazos Resort, filed a police report on February 27th. Collazo detailed how Marchena, using the alias Edwin Arley Gallego Avendano, defrauded the resort of over $50,000 through unpaid room charges and fraudulent payment promises. Marchena faces charges of possession of counterfeit currency, possession of controlled drugs, and obtaining property by deception. This arrest highlights the San Pedro Police Department's dedication to protecting Belize's tourism industry. Further investigations are underway to uncover the full extent of Marchena's fraudulent operations. After refusing to answer questions posed to him by senators under the justification that they do not fall under the terms of reference of the Special Select Committee tasked to investigate the definitive agreement, Ugo Pat, former Minister of Lands, was back before the committee this morning in Belmopan. This time, he was not as reluctant to answer questions by senators as he did back on February 14th. But that was just up until he was asked about lands transferred to Portico. As Minister of Natural Resources, Pat is said to have signed off on 17 private land transfers that became the Portico properties. Today, when he was asked to speak on those transfers, the question was met with an objective of irrelevance.
Would you recall whether or not Portico had applied for lands under its own name?
Madam Chair, certainly the general questions that the Senator has asked, I understand, and clearly my client does as well, the need for him to try to be for him to try to be helpful. But I must reiterate that once the questions become specific regarding Portico and any applications made in the name of Portico for lands, I think that's outside of the scope of the terms of reference. And so I would advise my client not to answer that sort of a question, just to make it.
Thank you. Your position to your client is on the record.
Thank you.
We will continue as guided by our legal counsel in terms of the questioning. Thank you. Please proceed.
Yes, that's sir. I mean, you certainly have the right not to answer a question you don't feel comfortable in answering, but I think it's my duty as a committee member to ask the questions and seek the answers for the things we're trying to investigate right now.
The land transfers, all of them for 50 acres, were all approved 1 week before the 2020 general elections. This raised eyebrows for a number of reasons, one of them being that the approved sale price for the parcels were all around $20,000, considered to be below the market value, and the second, that all titles were issued on the same day of purchase. The quickness of the approval was also questioned today.
It's about on the issue of pricing, and this will probably be another general question. Could you maybe give us some idea of how the pricing is derived for these properties?
From the time that we took on that ministry, one of the biggest cries that the general populace had was that the ministry was one that took very long for actually processing an application, so that at the time we made several structural changes to make sure that applications were processed in due time, and I could tell you that there were thousands of Belizeans that actually got their approvals within 1 day, and this is something that we moved as a matter of urgency for the benefit of thousands of Belizeans.
Would it be normal for one person to get more than one properties in a specific, maybe a tight time period, 2 weeks, 1 week?
We processed in 1 day, as is the current situation with the present administration, where they're processing applications in 1 day. So we started that process, and I think that process has been followed as we speak.
So you're saying that would have been a normal day, a normal thing?
As I said, thousands of Belizeans got their applications processed within 1 day.
What type of properties would go through maybe what you'd call that expedited process?
As long as the applications met the requirements, those were processed.
When you say process, you're talking about going from leasehold to title?
There were applications for leases and there were applications for direct purchases. The applicant was given the option whether they wanted to apply for a leasehold or if they wanted to apply for title in the case of declared land, and in the case of undeclared land, it would have been a fiat.
Would those persons, when persons are applying, would it be normal for them to meet with you, or that you would normally meet with those applicants?
There was a process in place. They had to follow the process. Each and every applicant had to follow the process.
Out of the 17 parcels of lands, 9 were approved on the same day, November 4th, 2020, to different companies but with the same director. Pat refused to state if he approved those transactions.
It's about on the issue of pricing, and this will probably be another general question. Could you maybe give us some idea of how the pricing is derived for these properties?
There was a system in place that had been there on practice since the 1970s. So that system was there, and all we did is basically follow on those. The methodology by which it was used is one that has been unchanged since the 1970s.
And that process then would have been what? Would it have been in compliance to the sheet? Can you share this with the former minister, please?
I could not really tell you in terms of values. I was not the type of minister that micromanaged. As I said, there were responsibilities attached to officers at different levels. But if I can go further, Senator, I think in 2016, you and your family had gotten quite a chunk of land from the government, so that you would have known back then what the kind of price ranges would be. So that would give you a clear indication. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't recall getting any land from government in 2016, sir. So I don't know where you're getting that information from. But I'm asking about pricing. So could we just stick to that line of questioning, sir?
With the aim of probing deeper into the process, Pat was also on the signing off of documents.
Who is the last person to sign off on any document, land application, for it to be legal in the system?
The approvals were the last person to sign any approval would have been myself upon the recommendation for a yes approval after it had gone through the process.
Okay. So earlier you did indicate that you were very busy, sir, as a minister, and you were not able to attend the Cabinet's subcommittee for investment. During your time on foreign assignment outside the country, was there any other person assigned to sign those documents while you were out of country?
No, there was none.
Okay. What transpired with those documents during your leave out of country?
Pardon me?
What would have transpired with those documents that needed the final signature of the minister while you were out of country?
The application process would continue to the point where it would eventually be sent to my office.
But the final signature is the minister's signature, is that correct?
Yes, that's the case.
Did you, as a Minister of Lands, ascertain any land during your tenure?
What does, I'm sorry, I'm not, sorry, Senator, what does ascertain mean in this country?
Obtain.
Oh, obtain. But again, Madam Chair, what does that have to do with the terms of reference of the committee?
You can.
There was, I think, some inquiry into the Ministry of Lands, and perhaps these questions were asked then, but how on earth would that come within the compass of this committee's terms of reference?
As we've agreed to, you can decline to answer the question.
As was, upon the advice of our attorney, I don't see the relevance of that question. And so, with due respect, Madam Senator, I will exercise my right as a witness to decline that question.
As minister responsible for the ministry that was once described as a hotbed of corruption by the former Prime Minister himself, Pat said he had full confidence in the staff working at the ministry and micromanaging was not his thing.
For context again, so you're saying that when you were appointed the Minister of Natural Resources, you went in there and then also saying that you trusted all the processes and the staff that looked over all of these applications?
Those processes were in place. From time, I could tell you that the system that is there, the IT, was introduced in 2007, and that system has had some improvements within the structure, and there has been no major modification to the system that is in place.
And you trusted that process?
Yes, we followed on.
even after the former Prime Minister saying that the Lands Department was a hotbed of corruption? You still trust that process?
Madam,
it's just for context.
I don't think that we need to go to that end. It's not relevant to the terms of reference of or the motion. So, with due respect,
you have a right to you have a right to decline.
Madam Chair, he's answered.
We will bring you the second part of Pat's testimony in tomorrow's newscast. There is another outbreak of the New World screwworm in Central America, and the folks at the Belize Agricultural Health Authority, Baja, are informing farmers and others who have pets close to the border areas to be vigilant. They are also advising people who cross the Belize with farm animals, into Belize that is, with farm animals to adhere to the measures that are in place when importing these animals. So far, Costa Rica and Panama have detected the parasite. Costa Rica has declared a state of zoo sanitary emergency with reported cases in cattle, pigs, dogs, and horses. Because the New World screwworm can also affect other mammals, including humans, there is a concern that if the parasite is found in Belize, it can be transmitted to people. While the host of the parasite can be safely treated, the aim is to keep the infestation of the screwworm minimal, if not completely eradicated.
An increase of cases of New World screwworm in Costa Rica and in Panama. And in the past couple of weeks, Costa Rica declared a zoo sanitary state of emergency. And basically what that does is that it requires that we heighten our surveillance measures in the rest of Central America and in Mexico. So what we are doing here in Belize to mitigate risk is that, first of all, we continue to monitor the zoo sanitary situation of the region. We have a network of people within the region and internationally who help us to do that, right? Once countries report certain things, then we follow up on it. Another thing that we are doing is we're creating public awareness, and we're doing this through press releases, through interviews like these, through posters. And part of what we're doing is educating people on the risks associated to New World screwworm, and on the fact that notifications need to start to happen once we have any sort of larval infestation in animals, right? We've also been highlighting surveillance and inspections. High-risk activities are illegal movement of animals and illegal importation. So we've been doing regular outings and looking at the different areas where we might have higher risk when it comes to illegal importation of animals.
As part of their heightened surveillance measures, Baja is also training its officers to ensure adequate preparation in the event of any concern here in Belize.
We've also been working on training our technical officers. We've been working together with Senacica Mexico, and we're going to be carrying out a large training, a virtual training at this point to help our livestock officers recognize, what it is that we're looking for. So that will be coming up soon. And then, of course, we've been participating in regional initiatives. Like I said, we are part of different organizations. One of the key organizations we work with is OIRSA. And OIRSA is composed of all Central American countries, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. So that means that all CVOs are in a group, and we're specifically in a chat group where we share information. So we're always up to date in the latest. We've also participated in other initiatives, regional initiatives, international initiatives that are looking not only at screwworm, but also at other transboundary diseases.
To ensure that Belize remains free of this disease, however, Chief Veterinary Officer at Baja, Dr. Roxana Alvarez, says everyone must do their part.
So we have several things that we're asking the public to do. And we've shared this before, as the public, what can you do? You monitor and report cases of larval infestation, fly larva infestation in your animals. If you know, beef worm is usually an issue, during the dry season. Well, we're asking that all cases of larval infestation be reported to our offices, right? And you can reach out to any of the animal health offices. There's one in Orange Walk and there's one here in Central Farm. And we ask you to let us know, because beef worm can easily be confused. And actually screwworm can actually be easily confused with beef worm. So we'd like to know once you have any sort of larval infestation. Another thing we ask the public is to comply with regulations, import regulations and movement regulations. Why? Because these are the things that help us to mitigate risk. So once we know what is going on, who is moving animals, who is importing animals, there are processes and procedures that are in place for us to determine that these animals are safe and healthy to move. And then, of course, we want people to start to share information with others. At the BLPA AGM on Saturday, we shared out some posters, and we'd like people to share those with other people and to pass on the message.
If this disease should make its way into Belize, Dr. Alvarez says it would be very difficult to adequately control, and so prevention remains key.
First of all, New World screwworm disease is caused by the larva of a fly, right? And what happens is that it has a very short life cycle. It has about 21 days life cycle, but during that 21 days, the female lays between 350 to 500 eggs. So we go from one fly to 350 flies rather quickly, right? And a bit over 30 years ago, when we had an infestation of screwworm, the major issue is, one, it is a main stress factor for our animals, right? And if they're already stressed out with maybe a shortage of food, or they have other pre-existing conditions, or they have an open wound, a larval infestation will definitely make that worse. Now, not only is that risk present, but also it is a fly that affects all warm-blooded animals. So the larva feeds on all warm-blooded animals. That includes pigs, cattle, sheep, of course, even poultry to some degree, and most importantly, humans. So those are the things that we would want the public to remember. And this is why screwworm is important. Now, one of the major issues right now with its containment and subsequent eradication is that, one, it requires an extreme amount of resources, mobilization, and the countries that presently have screwworm are facing that challenge right now. And there's also challenges, of course, of the control, and the control is usually through sterile flies. In the region, we only have one plant that produces sterile flies, and that's in Panama. And unfortunately, if the infestation continues to spread, then we're going to be faced with a major dilemma that we don't have enough flies for the region.
Coming up next, a BMDC acquires vegetable washer. The aim is to bring added value for farmers and quality product for consumers. Stay tuned.
We stay on track, we stay on track, we stay on track, we stay on track. PUP forward. Tell them we stay on track, we stay on track, we stay on track, we stay on track. Me say we constructing homes, so we stay on the track. We building roads, so we stay on the track. Fix the healthcare, so we stay on the track. Creating jobs, so we stay on the track. On track, PUP carry the country on top. Forward bellies and people don't stop. And this a one time we will never turn back. Cause a PUP keep the people on track. PUP,
we on the right direction. We got to keep it going non-stop. One PUP family, and we going to stay on track.
Me say we moving forward. PUP forward, bellies and up. Get ready, cause we moving. PUP forward. Tell them we stay on track. We stay on track. We stay on track. We stay on track.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
We are now walking the streets and visiting your homes. We're glad to hear that you're happy with the development of our beautiful town. Our motto, moving forward, one town, one vision, is a pledge to continue developing and beautifying a Raindrop town. On March 6th, stay on track and vote Logic Shepherd for mayor and your 6 PUP councillors.
A few parents from the village of Copperbank in the Corozal district are tonight at odds with the principal and other members of management of the Copperbank RC school. The situation escalated today when at least 10 parents that have children attending the school engaged in what can be coined as a small protest in front of the institution. We understand parents have several concerns that they want to see immediately resolved. The first has to do with the unsafe and unhealthy state the bathroom finds itself in. The second issue has to do with financing. Parents want to know what happened to some $10,000 that was raised to rehabilitate the bathroom. And the third issue has to do with the roof of the school building, which parents claim is a house for bats and is emanating a strong scent that has now become unbearably to students and a health hazard. Today we visited the fishing community and were able to get reactions from these parents. We'll bring those to you in tomorrow's newscast. The Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, BMDC, is the marketing arm of the Ministry of Agriculture, and its goal is to work with farmers from across the country to provide value-added local products in the market. The latest project undertaken under the umbrella of BMDC is the acquisition of a brand new vegetable washer at its main facilities here in Orange Walk Town. The procurement of the machine is expected to enhance the appearance and value of local products.
What we have here is a vegetable washer. Originally, this is made here in Belize. And what we're doing with this machine is that we are now able to be able to wash vegetables such as potatoes and carrots. These two we have tested already. And what we're doing with these, we're doing a trial right now to ensure that we could get the right maturity so that the vegetables come out really clean when they come to your tables. Well, at the moment, we're working with one producer where we're getting his potatoes Sometimes it comes clean, but there are times, especially during the rainy weather, when the potatoes come a little bit with mud. So what we do with this now, with this washer and this service that we're providing, is that we, first of all, are ensuring that we're getting mature products, so it comes out clean. And secondly, we're guaranteeing quality for our consumers, because I know if you go to the market and you see potatoes that look full of mud, you'll be discouraged to buy it. But with this process that we're doing right now, it definitely entices you to buy our local products, because we have quality products. But the thing is, the presentation plays a big role when it comes to the ability or the willingness to purchase these products. How we could assist farmers? Well, of course, quality is going to be one thing, because if the vegetables are clean, the vegetables look presentable, they could definitely fetch higher prices or better prices. And our consumers, of course, will be happy because they know they're consuming something good, something clean.
One of the major issues consumers have raised about local products, according to BMDC, is traditionally its appearance, and as a marketing agency for local farmers, this new venture seeks to bring added value for farmers while also ensuring consumers get high-quality products in the market.
We are the marketing arm of the Ministry of Agriculture. Our aim is to ensure that we add value to the products that are already out there. As I mentioned, Belizeans produce very good quality products. But again, presentation plays a big role, and that's where we come in as a marketing arm. If we can help assist the farmers to be able to make their produce more appealing to the consumers, we're definitely doing our job then. And I know that the farmers will be happy that their produce will be more acceptable to our populace. At the end of the day, as a marketing arm, we have to ensure that the products that we are bringing out there is competitive to what is imported, right? And at the moment, as you may know, right now we have carrots and we have potatoes in full production in the country. So why not entice our populace? Why not promote or make them feel they're eating something of quality? That's what we want at the end of the day.
The project is currently in the trial stage, and BMDC is currently working with one farmer through the testing stage. The hope, however, is to soon have more farmers access the service, first in the north and then across the country.
Sure. We have production, as I mentioned, in full swing right now. So the quantity that we want to be able to process, we want to increase it. This, what we have here, is at a trial stage, and more or less we could take out about 3 sacks per minute, roughly, cleaned potatoes. And I know if we look at it in an hour, we're already doing over 180 sacks, right? But we can do much more, and that's what we're aiming to do. If we could practice with this one, make sure we get the right quality, then we want to invest into an industrial size, so we could do much more for our farmers. So at the moment, it's one farmer we're working with, but definitely could work with all of our other farmers here in the north, especially, and then we expand gradually.
Today, the Mayor of Corozal and his councillors, in conjunction with the Municipal Traffic Department of Corozal, visited the Xavier R.C. Primary School in that municipality. The group were on a mission, the last that they would take before the council dissolves as municipal elections get closer. Continuing with the feeding project, Mayor Rigo Veos and his team today provided a complete lunch to 75 students. Today, he spoke to us about the success of the program that benefited 9 schools within Corozal Town.
This afternoon, we're doing our normal feeding program now at Xavier Catholic School. For me, it's something special. This is where I attended primary school when I was small. So it's always a pleasure to end here, you know? And I say end because this is the last school we will do before elections, right? Hoping that after elections we can continue with this project. It has been a project that has brought special moments, not only for me, but for the councillors and the kids. You know, it's always makes you feel good whenever you see a smile on each kid's face. And we are very aware, and we know very much how important it is for a child not to feel hungry and having to attend school. I mean, I was poor when I was small at this age, like them. So I know how it feels, you know. It gives them comfort, gives them confidence, and it allows them to perform even better at school. And we try to reach out to every school. There are 9 schools in Corozal Town, and this is our 9th school that we're doing now, right? So I'm happy that we can finally say, well, mission accomplished for this term, where we have visited more than one time each school and have our feeding program.
Whose idea was it, and what are the sentiments or the reactions that you get from maybe parents that would come in and pick up their children?
Well, this idea, it was given by the traffic department. You know, it's a collaboration with me and the traffic department at Corozal Town Council. They are the ones spearheading this program. Within them, they are the ones who cook the food, right? And we come and we feed the kids, the students of each school. So it's their idea, and kudos to them. I am very proud of them. You know, this is a very important program. You know, and I wish the business community would jump in and adapt to it, all right, and contribute to it. You know, my hope is for this to only get bigger, and not to do it only once a month, but probably once every 2 weeks or every week. And it's very important for us to touch base with our kids, allow them to be happy, you know, and food is one way that will always put a smile on any kid's face.
10 students from Bishop Martin High School are currently gearing up to represent their school in this year's first Lego League Challenge. This STEM-based robotics competition has been taking place in Belize since 2020. In this competition, students from high schools around the country apply their STEM skills combined with critical thinking to work with a team, build a robot, and compete in an exciting mission-based robotics game. Every year, First Lego League releases a new challenge based on a real-world scientific theme, and this year the competition is focusing on the arts with Masterpiece, where teams will imagine and innovate creative ways to communicate arts across the globe. Participating in the league for the second consecutive year, today we visited Bishop Martin High School, where its students are busy preparing for the competition.
So currently we're staying back, a fair bit of time after classes every day. Currently we're in the coding phase. We had already built our robot. It's been, I would say, around 2 weeks that we've started, just a little bit after school and so forth.
Talk to us a little about what you guys, in terms of the interaction that your team is having, being able to prepare for the league.
Yeah, we're coordinating with each other. We're researching with each other. We're discussing. We're brainstorming with each other. It's a whole lot of cooperation in our team. We're all teammates after all. We're working on our robot right now. We had some challenges with the fact that the robot needed 2 arms as opposed to 1 this time around. Yeah, we're a fair bit way through the coding. That's what we're working on mostly right now.
Talk to us about what you guys are expecting, walking into this competition as a team.
Yeah, we're expecting, to see a lot of other innovations by other students and so forth. We're expecting to see, some pretty interesting stuff. We're expecting to have our robot be pretty good, all of that.
Junior Alexander Del Cid is the chief engineer for the group. His role is to ensure that their robot works smoothly. Gearing up for the competition, Alexander says the biggest challenge is to ensure precise calculations to get their robot to complete assigned missions.
As chief engineer here, my job is to help build the robot and try and code the robot so the robot can do the missions. Overall, there are 14 types of missions we have to do. And the max points is 550 points that we have to do in under 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Talk to us a little about the process of getting this robot ready and some of the challenges that you guys have met along the way.
Overall, to creating this robot, you have to start thinking on how you're gonna build your robot and to see if the robot, because we can't add something to the back of the robot and then when the robot starts moving, the robot flips over or whatever. And so the challenges that we face is, so to do the missions, we have to place the robot in a certain angle. But then if, let's say, we put the robot slightly to the left, that could trigger us to fail that mission.
So you have to Be precise.
You have to be precise with how you're gonna place a robot, because it's not trusting, because if you put the robot in one singular place and then you trust that place and then that place ends up making the robot fail the mission, then we have to see where else we could place the robot.
In 2023, Bishop Martin High School placed second in the competition. Their goal this year is to bring home that first place trophy.
Overall, last year we used to stay a little after classes to work on the robot. And while we were encoding, we were having fun at the same time, because we were learning new stuff along the way. And then during the day of the league, we met other high schools that were actually doing as well. So there we try conducting good sportsmanship, learning more to see what else we can apply to our robot from the other teams, and trying to help out the other teams as well.
What do you guys think, you guys are better, more improved on this year compared to last year, the first time, but this year you guys are going in with a little bit more experience?
Right now, only me and the next person that were from the last year's team are in this year's team. Its majority are new people that joined. So from what I could tell that we have here is that there are, since I am the chief engineer and my friend is the chief technician, we both stay along and then we place the robot, and now the robot is already built and it's already starting to do some of the missions compared to last year, which took us a week. So from last year, we went with a mentality that we wanted to at least bring home something, but we never expected to come in second place. So we want to continue at second place or do much better and make it to the first, so we can keep representing Bishop Martin High School.
The first LEGO League Masterpiece competition will take place on March 16th in Belize City. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Thursday, February 29th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/CTV3 Belize News or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.